Greetings, YouTube. The doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. And today on the Doctor Spell Prognosis, we're talking about the spell Chain Lightning. One of my favorite spells in the entire game. I am not sure why this doesn't appear more in a lot of adventures and everything, but it is a great spell. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when I got another video coming out. Okay, 6th level spell, usable only by sorcerers and wizards. We're giving this an A, and the only reason we're not giving anything higher is because it is very limited in who can cast it. 3 classes. Bards can get this as magical secrets, but they can't get it until 14th level because it's 6th level. So takes 1 action, has a range of 150 feet, which is a great range. Verbal, somatic, and material component, which is a worthless component, so we don't have to worry about that. It's an evocation spell. So you create a bolt of lightning that arcs towards a target of your choice that you can see within range. 3 bolts then leap from that target to as many as 3 other targets, each of which must be within 30 feet of the first target. In essence, this is a 30-foot radius blast. But it doesn't affect everything in a 30-foot radius. It's targeting 3 different creatures in a 30-foot radius from the first target. A target can be a creature or an object and can be targeted only by 1 of the bolts. A target must make a dex save. So that's out of the physical saving throws. If you are a player, that is the one that you want to target the most, because that is the one that most creatures have the least highest dex saving throw for. So the target takes 10d8 lightning damage on a failed save. That's an average of 45 points of damage, by the way. And half as much on a successful, so 22 points of damage on a successful save, which is almost as much as a fireball does on average on a failed save. And then when you cast this spell using a spell slot of 7th level or higher, you get 1 more bolt from the first one. Okay? Awesome spell. This is like a supercharged fireball, lightning bolt. This is really what these spells should be at this level. It does do lightning damage, not a whole lot that is resistant to lightning. There are quite a few things. Fire, I think, is the most. Poison is probably the second, and then lightning is probably the third. So lots of good damage. Now, I want to talk about a few things about this spell and what it is good for. 1, it is great for breaking concentration. So players and DMs use this spell because you can break an enemy's concentration. If you're the DM and you got a creature who's got chain lightning, this is probably a spell they should be using quite a bit. We played Tomb of Annihilation, and I used chain lightning quite a bit. I'm not sure why it doesn't get used as much. I watched the entire first campaign of Critical Role, and Keyleth had that staff that could cast, I think, like 2 or 3 chain lightnings a day, and she never used this spell. I'm not sure why. This is one of the best spells, but again, it will break concentration. So remember, if you take damage, you have to make a constitution check, and it's a saving throw. And wizards are not trained. Here is the wizard. Wizards are trained in intelligence and wisdom. Sorcerers are trained in constitution and charisma. So you want to notice who you're hitting when you hit them with this. Wizards, however, are probably going to break their concentration. So again, it's 45 points of damage if they fail their save. And the DC is 10 or half the damage you take, whichever number is higher. A DC 22 Constitution saving throw is very hard for a wizard to make, no matter what level that wizard is. Very, very hard. And then even if they make their save, it's a DC 11, so it's a little bit worse than the DC 10. And even for a sorcerer, that's going to be a very hard DC 22 to make. So very good at breaking concentration. Pay attention when you cast a spell, what targets you are hitting with. One of the other things, because the Chain Lightning spell says that it can target objects, so I pulled up this table from the Dungeon Master's Guide of objects' hit points, and you can ignore the armor class thing because you just target it. The lightning bolt hits it, leaps it, and then does damage. So a large object has 27 hit points if it's resilient. So it's gone. It will be gone. Huge and gargantuan objects, they've got some other things in here and things about damage thresholds, but Chain Lightning will destroy objects pretty heftily. So let's talk about different classes, because there's two classes that can use this, sorcerers and wizards. Let's talk about wizards first. The School of Evocation comes up, and at 10th level, which you'll be 10th level when you're casting this spell, you can add your intelligence modifier to one damage roll of the wizard evocation spell that you just cast. Okay, that's great. The sculpt spell doesn't really affect this because it's not it's technically not an area of effect. You could overchannel this spell. You could not overchannel it. I am corrected on that. It is only 1st through 5th level, so you cannot do that. But of course there is School of Divination with the portent that you have, and you could give out one of those D20s out to somebody so that they fail their save. The other thing that we're looking at here is Sorcerer. So the biggie thing for Sorcerers is the meta magics. So Empower spell comes to mind, where you spend a sorcery point and you can reroll damage up to your charisma modifier. And I would say by this level as a sorcerer, if you're a straight sorcerer, you probably should have very close to a 20, which means you should be able to reroll up to 5 damage dice with a point, with a sorcery point. So that's half of the dice to one target. So I would take one of those, and I would look very carefully at the dice that you roll. And you roll a bunch of 1s or 2s, I would re-roll those again. Heightening the spell, 3 sorcery points, and 1 target has disadvantage on the saving throw. Again, that's just for a spell. You could quicken this spell, so it's a bonus action for 2. Twinning the spell, this is not a single target spell. As a DM, I would rule that this is a no-go, that you cannot twin Chain Lightning. It says toward a target of your choice, but then it says 3 bolts leap from that target. So, I would say no, it can't be twinned, but there might be some DMs that say you can twin it on the first target, but maybe not on the second target. When you cast a spell that targets only one creature, it does have resist. Spend a number of points equal to target a second creature. So I would not say that you can target 2 different creatures and then 6 bolts leap out. No, that's not a thing. So as far as the sorcerers go, I like the wild magic sorcerer because of bend luck, and you could subtract from the saving throw of some creatures. Storm sorcery is just and there's really nothing in here that has anything to do with spells. There's things that happen when you cast spells, but there's nothing in here that layers itself on top of the spell. So I don't really like the Storm Sorcerer as much. So, all right, that's what I got for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.